Israel Adesanya has responded to Alex Pereira suggesting that he was injured during the fight against Dricus Du Plessis at UFC 305. Here's what Alex had to say on his YouTube channel.
Eu não sei, né, como que o Israel tava, porque a gente tá ali, né, a gente não fala de lesão, não fala do que acontece, de problemas, a gente tá ali, pô, quer lutar, quer ganhar, sem dar desculpas, né, então talvez o Adesanya tinha uma lesão, não sei. Pode ver que ele chutou muito pouco, né, e coisas que eu falo, aquele chute por dentro do Adesanya, pô, é muito bom, não é todo mundo que consegue fazer isso, mas ele consegue fazer isso muito bem. Eu sabia que era uma arma boa e ele não continuou fazendo, né, esse chute por dentro ali da perna, até o Dricus falou que isso incomodou muito ele, também me incomodou, né? Então eu sei que, eu falei isso antes, né, para as pessoas que me perguntaram, pô, ele não continuou fazendo isso, então ali, porra, então, pô, quando vem sua mão, eu acho que fica mais fácil, né, de o adversário se proteger ou de sair, porque ficou uma coisa ali mais boxe, né, então ficou mais fácil para ele.
Izzy responded via X. He wrote, "It's weird how this guy knows me. It's like we've spent hours studying each other's moves and fought multiple times or something. I mean that." On to some more news regarding Alex Pereira. Magomed Ankalaev accused Alex of lying today. In that same video, Alex spoke on Magomed and said that Magomed did not want to fight him.
As pessoas, para mim, é um prazer, um privilégio, eu tô no lugar certo. Então, muitas pessoas me perguntam, e eu sempre quis lutar com o Ankalaev, mas eu joguei isso para a organização, deixei bem claro, né? Vim aqui falar para vocês, deixei bem claro, mas o Ankalaev não quis lutar comigo, né?
Magomed fired back via X. He wrote, "At Alex Pereira, you are a liar. You said I'd turn fight down against you. At Dana White, at McMaynard, never offer me a fight against you. I'm gonna make you eat your words after I handle my business." He followed up with, "This man is a liar. He's making stuff up. I'm gonna punish him after I handle my business." Ronda Rousey says that she is not neurologically fit to compete in MMA anymore. Ronda says it got to a point where she now can't even take a jab without getting dazed and getting concussion symptoms. On the Insight podcast, Ronda said every couple years the same rumor comes out. It's nice to feel missed, I guess, but it's not happening. I'm not neurologically fit to compete anymore at the highest level. I just can't. You just get to a level where the neurological injuries you take accumulate over time. They don't get better. When I got into MMA, I had already had dozens of concussions that I trained through, like not even stopped for. So that was about a decade of having concussion symptoms more often than not. So when I got into MMA, I was playing a game of zero errors. Then it got to the point where I was fighting more often than anybody. I had more outside of fighting responsibilities than anybody, and it just got to be lighter and lighter hits were hurting more and more and more. I got to a point where I couldn't take a jab without getting dazed, without getting concussion symptoms. It just got to a point where it wasn't safe for me to fight anymore. I just couldn't continue to fight at that higher level. It was really tough, and I think that's why I took the first loss so hard, because I knew it was over. I knew I'd reached that limit. I was in denial about it, and I tried to come back again with a lot of rest and a better weight cut, not doing the extra stuff, the extra press, and just coming and fighting. If I could just cut to that moment where they say go and I fight, I love that so much. Nothing makes more sense in the world. There's not a single thing that happens that I don't understand or that I don't know what to do. The men have been around longer, so they just have more history of boxing and stuff like that. They just reach their limit of how many hits that they can take, and then they start getting knocked out. They start getting knocked out easier and easier, more and more often. Then you see them down the road and they're having all kinds of neurological issues. I just felt it was my responsibility to age gracefully because I'm a representative of my sport. People look at me and think of women's MMA. If I'm rolling around in a wheelchair, people aren't going to let their little girls go and do it. You never know when you take one hit too many until decades later. You see the guys who are like punch drunk. Everyone loves to see you fight when you're in the cage, but none of those people are going to be there for you down the line. You got to take care of yourself and your family and put that first, because you're just passing entertainment for everybody else. You see that in pro wrestling. People get addicted to that applause and they can't stop. They can't walk away even when it becomes to their detriment. I just had to put my foot down and be like, this has gotten to a point where my brain cannot take it anymore, and it has nothing to do with how tough I am or anything like that. It's just the way that it is. Israel Adesanya got swarmed by fans at a supermarket in Nigeria.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Please.
What else? I think I said that's me. Okay, check. We'll check out now.
Joaquin Buckley says that he has no beef with Daniel Cormier. However, he's been praying to the MMA gods that he runs into him. Joaquin and DC had words for each other a few months back after Joaquin called out Conor McGregor. Back in May, Joaquin posted this to X. He wrote, "Let this be known. At DC, at Bisping, at Sonnen, your mama's raised some Y'all really trying to twist up my words, knowing damn well what I said in that cage. But it's okay, we can all have some fun." DC fired back saying, "Shut up, maybe listen. You had a dumb call out. You're getting talked about by 3 of the biggest voices in the game. Maybe listen. It was the worst call out in history. Don't let winning a few fights at 170 get you too excited, bruh. Don't mention Audrey." In an interview with MMAfighting.com, Joaquin said, "I've been praying to the MMA gods that I run into DC. I'm the type of person, I'm a fan of Daniel Cormier and all the things he's done in his MMA career. If you're talking about from Strikeforce to coming to the UFC and dominating and end up winning 2 straps in the UFC, because of how difficult that is holding them simultaneously at one time, I've got to respect it. But at the end of the day, it's like as fighters, I believe that for me, the things that I'm trying to do, I feel like DC could have helped me with trying to go where I'm trying to go instead of trying to diminish me or break me down. Somebody like him has such a massive voice and a massive platform. Any negative thing that he puts out there on me, there's a lot of fans that are going to have backlash on me and not kind of see my point of view because I knew where I was coming from, but regardless, he went to a different direction and took it. That was his choice. Now, at the end of the day, we're all fighters though, right? I will be blessed to get to work with DC because if I can't really talk it out with you, then we can work it out. Does that make sense? I feel like me and DC, I would love to see DC, but it's not on some personal level like, as soon as I see DC, I'm fitting to swing on him. No, because I ain't about that. If DC wants to make it like that, which I highly doubt, but at the end of the day, we can always get this work in as martial artists and hash it out. Ain't no beef on my end. I like to break balls too. My thing is, just like at the end of the day, we're all just having fun. We're all just talking stuff, but we can really figure this stuff out if there's an issue or a misunderstanding. Max Holloway discusses his upcoming fight against Ilia Topuria. Max plans to outdo his performance at UFC 300 where he knocked out Justin Gaethje.
Every fight camp, it's just me versus me. I gotta go out there and outdo myself every fight camp, you know? Everybody thought UFC 300 was amazing. Wait till they get to see the outcome of UFC 308. It's gonna be a good one.
Chael Sonnen thinks people may be underestimating Aleksandar Rakic. Rakic is currently scheduled to fight Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 308. Chael thinks people seem to have forgot how good Rakic is, despite him coming off 2 TKO losses, one to Jan Blachowicz back in 2022 due to a knee injury, and to Jiri Prochazka back in April. On his YouTube channel, Chael said, "You've got Ankalaev, clearly the #1 contender, at least according to you guys. And you know what? I do have a little bit of a problem with that. It's not a huge problem, but I do just have a little one, which is Rakic is that damn good. You've got to understand, Rakic did not get a world title fight. Well, neither did Ankalaev, but Rakic did find himself in the next best thing. He's in a #1 contenders match. That is quite literally the next best thing you can get to a title fight, and he found himself there coming off a loss. As a matter of fact, he found himself there coming off a stoppage loss. As a matter of fact, finding himself in this spot actually moves him in front of the guy that he suffered the loss to in Prochazka. I'm only telling you this because that's how good Rakic is, and a lot of people have forgot. Rakic looked good in the night he lost to Prochazka, but he looked like a guy who had been out for a minute of time. His conditioning wasn't going to be right where he wants it, and there was no way to manufacture that. Gilbert Burns says he would have moved on a long time ago if he was Michael Chandler waiting for Conor McGregor. Speaking to MMAfighting.com, Gilbert said, "I would never wait that long for any opponent. I would never wait, especially at my age. Chandler just turned 38 too. I would never wait 2 years. That's crazy. Even though it's Conor McGregor, I don't care. I would never wait, since he's already waiting that long. Like you said, I would wait until December. If the guy shows up good, we're here. If not, I think I would have moved on a long time ago already. No way. I think most fighters would not wait. I think he was hoping to get it going soon, and then the delays started. I think now he's got to wait. Now the fight's got to happen, for sure. If it doesn't come in December, no one will think he's ever coming back anymore. I think I'd do like you said. If he shows up in December, good, let's go. If not, you've got to move on." Demetrious Johnson pretends to be Rampage Jackson's son.
Why? What does that mean?
Fitting game.
It's not?
What is that?
He said on the weekends he likes to make girls laugh and chill.
Yeah. You know, he's just a comedian. He does improv. That's his friend, Mighty. Come here, Mike. This is his friend. They both do it together. Irvine Improv, when you guys do your stepbrother thing, where you guys do live comedy.
Oh, no.
Oh, you don't do that with
I'm actually his son.
Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. Oh my. He's a great guy. You have to. Can I just tell you something? You have. Thanks, Mighty. We appreciate that, brother. I just gotta tell you something. He's actually a. Hey, let him know when it's ready.
After defeating Jared Cannonier this weekend in the main event of UFC Vegas 96, Caio Borralho says he expects Sean Strickland to beat Dricus Du Plessis. Caio says he wants to fight the winner. He went on to say, I got Sean Strickland winning this fight. Maybe because I think Strickland won the last one, but maybe he left a little bit inside the octagon and he could do a little bit more. But MMA is crazy. I always bet against Dricus, and he always wins, so I'm not betting on the next one. Let those guys kill themselves, and I'm the next one to challenge for the title. Robert Whittaker warns Alex Pereira about going back down to middleweight and fighting Dricus Du Plessis. Rob thinks it's a bad idea. Speaking to Submission Radio, Rob said, honestly, I don't think that's a good fight for him. Yeah, I don't think that's a good fight for him. But also, like, when you move up to light heavyweight, moving back down is tricky. And it's not like you move up for one fight. He stayed up there. He's been fighting up there for a while now, so it would take a lot out of him to get back down. And Dricus is so strong there. Well, Alex gets hit, okay, and Dricus likes getting hit. So it's hard to see someone with the amount of power to stop Dricus from walking forward into you. And Dricus hits hard. You saw that in the fight against Adesanya. Adesanya has got like a really good chin, and Dricus was still hurting him enough to make him uncomfortable. Jiri Prochazka is considering moving to middleweight following Dricus Du Plessis' win over Izzy.
Váze teda aspoň, to už víš?
Jo, takhle, váhovka. Dost jsem uvažoval teď nad tím, že jestli vyhraje Adesanya, tak zůstanu light heavyweight. Jestli vyhraje Du Plessis, tak tam půjdu. Trošku tam vymetu a vezmu si pás. Ale ten rest prostě v té light heavyweight, protože se v ní cítím fakt dobře. Cítím se silnej, cítím se rychlej. I když kluci tam jsou prostě o něco těžší, skoro všichni, tak musím říct, že já nemám problém s nima jako nějak zametat prostě silově nebo fyzicky nebo jakkoliv. Ale určitě by to pro mě byla výzva jít trošku rotu do té 8-4 si propás a pak nahoru. Ale nechám to fakt vyplynout teďkom.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's in reference to Alex Pereira returning to the tire shop where he used to work in Brazil. It says, you can tell Alex used to take a lot of pride in his job by how quickly he can still do it. The second one says, analysts pretending that they don't know or remember how Ankalaev only begs to fight in Abu Dhabi. Notice where he's fighting. We aren't dumb. Alex fights anyone, anywhere, anytime. I'll keep saying it. And the final one's from Bryant Gomez. It's in reference to the footage of Bruce Buffer appearing frustrated after Dricus defeated Izzy at UFC 305. It says Bruce punching the air after clocking out. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.